When we think about God as our provider, we've been talking about the five different things that He provides for us out of the first two narratives of Genesis. He provides our purpose when we're made in the image of God. We are His representatives and need to reflect Him. Number two, He provides our peace. We'll dig into that today, and we'll also just touch on He provides our promise, and then we'll pick up the next two in the next couple days. So real quick, thinking about the second and third, He provides peace or rest for us. The idea of peace really is this idea of shalom. It's a sense of wholeness. And that wholeness comes out of a relationship with God that is in sync, right? When I am out of sync with God, I'm out of peace. When my mind is not in sync with God, it's not in peace. And so what do we do as in our story, in our cultures, as we seek for some sort of way to manipulate peace, to fabricate peace, but unless we are connected with God and know that we have peace on the inside, it doesn't matter what's happening on the outside because we're still in turmoil because of sin, brokenness, separation, independence. So when God finishes creation on the seventh day, on the sixth day, He says it is finished and it is very good. And then it says in chapter 2 and verse 1 through 3 of Genesis that by the seventh day, God had finished all the work He'd been doing. And on the seventh day, God rested from all His work. Then God blessed the seventh day, made it holy, because on it He rested from all the creative work that He had done. What did God do? He set in motion a rhythm of rest, a rhythm for peace, a rhythm for dependence. See, what happens typically when you and I don't rest is we perceive in our stories that we've got to keep going. There's no time to rest. I'm too busy to rest. There's so much work to be done. And so in our frenetic pace, we disconnect from God's presence and His available provision of rest. So when I am in sync with God, I learn to trust and live in dependence on Him. So if God could rest on the seventh day, He invites me to rest on the seventh day. It's so I will learn to rest in His provision of peace. So when Jesus in the New Testament says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you shalom, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, yoke up with me, be my apprentice, and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart." That's what I'm learning. I'm learning about God's humility and His gentleness. And you will find rest for your souls. You and I can begin to experience God's provision of rest only when we disengage from a performance mentality, the meritocracy of our culture that says you have merit based on your merits, based on all the things you do. God provides for us in Jesus salvation apart from what we do. That's dependent on what He has done and gives us rest for our souls. When I know that I have God's rest, I can flourish because I have a rhythm of rest that is good for my soul. God's provided this. From the beginning, it's been His plan that you and I would detach from the performance of our culture and rest in the provision of His acceptance. Lord Jesus, enable us today to rest, to take some moments of rest. Lord, equip us to know what a rhythm, a regularity, a pace where there's rest built in. Lord, let us find a day to Sabbath, a day to disengage from our compulsion for productivity, and empower us to trust you, Lord, to trust you for our needs, for the provision you want to give to us. We love you, Lord, and we trust you today. Jesus is our peace. He is the Prince of Peace. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.